What is the nature of personal dharma? Sloka 60. Personal law, or svadharma, is our own perfect individual pattern of life. It is the sum of our accumulated seed karmas as they relate to the collective effect on us of rita, asrama, and varna dharma. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhashya. Each human being has an individual personal dharma. This dharma is determined by two things, the karmas, both good and bad, from past lives, and the three dharmas of this life, universal, human, and social. Svadharma, one's own law, is molded by our background and experiences, tendencies, and desires, indicated by astrology, all of which determine our personality, profession, and associations. The key to discovering and understanding personal dharma is the worship of Lord Ganesha, the god of memory, time, and wisdom, who knows our past lives and can clarify our most perfect pattern, our right path in life. When we follow this unique pattern, guided by guru, wise elders, and the knowing voice of our soul, we are content and at peace with ourselves and the world. Dharma is to the individual what its normal development is to a seed, the orderly fulfillment of an inherent nature and destiny. A Vedic prayer implores that splendor that resides in an elephant, in a king, among men, or within the waters, with which the gods in the beginning came to godhood. With that same splendor make me splendid, O Lord. Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on four dharmas. We all have various thoughts and plans, and diverse are the callings of men. The carpenter seeks out that which is cracked, the physician the ailing, the priest the soma-press. Rig Veda. The daughter of heaven has revealed herself in the eastern region, all clothed in light. Faithfully she follows the path of Rita Dharma, well understanding. She measures out the regions, Rig Veda. The hands are alike, but in their work they differ. So also two cows, offspring of a single mother, may yet give differing yields of milk. Even twins are not the same in strength, or kinsmen in bounty. Rig Veda. A man should think on wealth and strive to win it by adoration on the path of order, counsel himself with his own mental insight, and grasp still nobler vigor with his spirit. Rig Veda. Who, weary of Brahman studentship, having fully learnt the Vedas, is discharged by the teacher he had ever obeyed, such a one is called the Ashramin. Choosing a wife of equally high birth, he should deposit the sacred fires and bring to those deities the Brahman sacrifice day and night until, dividing among the children his property, abstaining from conjugal pleasures, he gives himself to the forest life, wandering in a pure region, living on water and on air, and on such fruit as proper, fire within body. He abides on earth without obligations, without tears. Atharva Veda. 100 uninitiated are equal to one brahmachari. 100 brahmacharis are equal to one grihastha. 100 grihasthas are equal to one vanaprastha. 100 vanaprasthas are equal to one sannyasin. Atharva Veda. In how many parts was he transformed when they cut the Purusha in pieces? What did his mouth become? What his arms? What his thighs? What his feet? His mouth then became the Brahmana. From the arms the Rajanya was made, the Vaishya from the thighs. From the feet the Sudra came forth. Rig Veda. The works of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras are different, in harmony with the three powers of their born nature. The works of a Brahmin are peace, self-harmony, austerity, and purity, loving forgiveness and righteousness, vision, wisdom, and faith. These are the works of a Kshatriya, a heroic mind, inner fire, constancy, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and noble leadership. Trade, agriculture, and the rearing of cattle is the work of a Vaishya, and the work of the Sudra is service. They all attain perfection when they find joy in their work. Bhagavad Gita. A man attains perfection when his work is worship of God, from whom all things come, and whom is in all. Greater is thine own work, even if this be humble, than the work of another, even if this be great. When a man does the work God gives him, no sin can touch this man. Bhagavad Gita. A sattvik he is, his thoughts centered on paratattva, his vision clear through conflicting faiths, abhorrent of recurring cycles of births, straight in Dharma's path he easily walks, he sure is disciple good and true. Tirumantaram. He who understands his duty to society truly lives. All others shall be counted among the dead. Tirukural. By the laws of Dharma that govern body and mind, you must fear sin and act righteously. Wise men, by thinking and behaving in this way, become worthy to gain bliss before, here, and hereafter. Nachintanai. Sadachara Mandala, good conduct. Anjali, the gesture of two hands brought together near the heart, means to honor or celebrate. It is our Hindu greeting, two joined as one, the bringing together of matter and spirit, the self meeting the self in all. Om. What is the meaning of good conduct? Sloka 61. Good conduct is right thought, right speech, and right action. It is virtuous deeds in harmony with divine law, reflecting the soul's innate purity. As a staff is used to climb a mountain, so must virtue be used in life. Om. Bhashya, good conduct, sadachara, determines our behavior in day-to-day life. We should be uplifting to our fellow man, not critical or injurious. We should be loving and kind, not hateful or mean. We should express the soul's beautiful qualities of self-control, modesty, and honesty. We should be a good example to others and a joy to be around, not a person to be avoided. Good conduct is the sum of spiritual living and comes through keeping good company. When heart and mind are free of baseness, when desires have been tempered and excesses avoided, Dharma is known and followed, and good conduct naturally arises. The Hindu fosters humility and shuns arrogance, seeks to assist, never to hinder, finds good in others and forgets their faults. There is no other way to be called a true devotee, but to conduct ourselves properly within ourselves and among our fellow men. The Vedas say, let there be no neglect of truth, let there be no neglect of Dharma, let there be no neglect of welfare, let there be no neglect of prosperity, let there be no neglect of study and teaching. Let there be no neglect of the duties to the gods and the ancestors. Om Namah Shivaya. What are good conduct's four keys? Sloka 62. Purity, devotion, humility, and charity are the four keys to good conduct. Of course, purity is the cardinal virtue. We cultivate purity by thinking, speaking, and doing only that which is conceived in compassion for all. Om. Purity is the pristine and natural state of the soul. We cultivate purity by refraining from anger and retaliation, by maintaining a clean and healthy body, and by guarding our virginity until marriage. We cultivate purity by seeking good company and by living a disciplined life. Devotion is love of God, gods, and Guru, and dedication to family and friends. We cultivate devotion through being loyal and trustworthy. We cultivate devotion through worship and selfless service. Humility is mildness, modesty, reverence, and unpretentiousness. We cultivate humility by taking the experiences of life in understanding and not in reaction, and by seeing God everywhere. We cultivate humility through showing patience with circumstances and forbearance with people. Charity is selfless concern and caring for our fellow man. It is generous giving without thought of reward, always sharing and never hoarding. We cultivate charity through giving to the hungry, the sick, the homeless, the elderly, and the unfortunate. The Vedas explain, as to a mountain that's inflamed, deer and birds do not resort, so with knowers of God, sins find no shelter. Om Namah Shivaya. From whom is good conduct learned? Sloka 63. The first teacher in matters of good conduct is our conscience. To know what is right and what is wrong, we can also turn to God, to our Satguru and Swamis, to Scripture and to our elders, family, and trusted friends. Om. Bhashya. Divine laws cannot be avoided. They do not rule us from above, but are wrought into our very nature. Even death cannot efface the karma created by evil deeds. Good conduct alone can resolve woeful karmas. Therefore it is essential that we learn and adhere to good conduct. Good people are the best teachers of good conduct, and should be sought out and heeded when we need help or advice. Talk with them, the wise ones, and in good judgment be guided accordingly. Ethical scriptures should be read and studied regularly, and their wisdom followed. The loud voice of our soul, ever heard within our conscience, is a worthy guide. When we grasp the subtle mechanism of karma, we wisely follow the good path. Good conduct, or sadacharya, for the Hindu is summarized in 5 obligatory duties, called pancha nitya karmas: virtuous living, dharma, worship, upasana, holy days, utsava, pilgrimage, tirthayatra, and sacraments, samskaras. The Vedas offer their guidance. If you have doubt concerning conduct, follow the example of high souls who are competent to judge, devout, not led by others, not harsh, but lovers of virtue. Om Namah Shivaya. What are the 10 classical restraints? Sloka 64. Hinduism's ethical restraints are contained in 10 simple precepts called yamas. They define the codes of conduct by which we harness our instinctive forces and cultivate the innate, pristine qualities of our soul. Om. Bhashya. The yamas and niyamas are scriptural injunctions for all aspects of thought and behavior. They are advice and simple guidelines, not commandments. The 10 yamas defining the ideals of charya are: 1. Ahimsa, non-injury. Do not harm others by thought, word, or deed. 2. Satya, truthfulness. Refrain from lying and betraying promises. Asteya, non-stealing. Neither steal, nor covet, nor enter into debt. 4. Brahmacharya, divine conduct. Control lust by remaining celibate when single, leading to faithfulness in marriage. 5. Kshama, patience. Restrain intolerance with people and impatience with circumstances. Driti, steadfastness. Overcome non-perseverance, fear, indecision, and changeableness. 7. Daya, compassion. Conquer callous, cruel, and insensitive feelings toward all beings. 8. Arjava, honesty. Renounce deception and wrongdoing. 9. Mitahara, moderate appetite. Neither eat too much nor consume meat, fish, fowl, or eggs. 10. Sacha, purity. Avoid impurity in body, mind, and speech. The Vedas proclaim, to them belongs yon stainless Brahma world, in whom there is no crookedness and falsehood, nor trickery. Om Namah Shivaya. What are the 10 classical observances? Sloka 65. Hinduism's religious tenets are contained in 10 terse precepts called niyamas. They summarize the essential practices that we observe and the soulful virtues and qualities we strive daily to perfect. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhashya, good conduct is a combination of avoiding unethical behavior and performing virtuous, spiritualizing acts. The accumulated wisdom of thousands of years of Hindu culture has evolved 10 niyamas, or religious observances. These precepts defining the ideals of kriya are: 1. Free, remorse. Be modest and show shame for misdeeds. 2. Santosha, contentment. Seek joy and serenity in life. 3. Dana, giving. Tithe and give creatively without thought of reward. 4. Astikya, faith. Believe firmly in God, gods, Guru, and the path to enlightenment. 5. Ishvara Pujana, worship. Cultivate devotion through daily puja and meditation. 6. Siddhanta Sravana, scriptural listening. Study the teachings and listen to the wise of one's lineage. 7. Mati, cognition. Develop a spiritual will and intellect with a guru's guidance. 8. Vrata, sacred vows. Fulfill religious vows, rules, and observances faithfully. 9. Japa, recitation. Chant holy mantras daily. 10. Tapas, austerity. Perform sadhana, penance, tapas, and sacrifice. The Vedas state, they indeed possess that Brahma world who possess austerity and chastity, and in whom the truth is established. Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on good conduct. You are in truth the visible Brahman. I will proclaim you as the visible Brahman. I will speak the right. I will speak the truth. May this protect me. May it protect my teacher. May this protect me. May it protect my teacher. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Yajurveda. The one who is not turned away from wickedness, who has no peace, who is not concentrated, whose mind is restless, he cannot realize the Atman who is known by wisdom. Yajurveda. The 10 abstinences are non-violence, truth, non-stealing, chastity, kindness, rectitude, forgiveness, endurance, temperance in food, and purity. Yajurveda. May he protect us both. May he be pleased with us both. May we work together with vigor. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. Om. Peace, peace. Yajurveda. The subtle self is known by thought, in which the senses in 5 different forms have centered. The whole of men's thoughts is pervaded by the senses. When thought is purified, the self shines forth. Atharvaveda. They say of a man who speaks the truth, he speaks the Dharma, or a man who speaks the Dharma, he speaks the truth. Verily, both these are the same thing. Yajurveda. Rescue the mind from qualities, make it pure and fix it in the heart. That consciousness which manifests clearly thereafter must alone be aimed at and striven for. Devikalotara Agama. Let the aspirant for liberation behave in an unselfish and kind way and give aid to all. Let him undergo penance and let him study the Agama. Devikalotara Agama. One who has recoiled from sensual pleasures and devoted himself to undefiled, pure wisdom is sure to achieve everlasting moksha, even if he does not consciously seek it. Devikalotara Agama. I walk with those who go after God. I live with those who sing his praise. The Lord blesses those who seek him. With those who unite in him, I unite in their feet. Tirumantaram. Tapas, japa, serenity, belief in God, charity, vows in Shiva way, and Siddhanta learning, sacrificial offerings, Shiva puja, and speech pure. With these 10, the one in niyama perfects his way. Tirumantaram. More precious than life itself is rectitude. Those who practice rectitude possess everything that is worthwhile: humility, truthfulness, avoidance of killing and stealing, refraining from slandering others, abstinence of covetousness, and so forth. These are the characteristics of a life of rectitude. Nachintanai. Keep the mind free of impurity. That alone is the practice of virtue. All else is nothing but empty display. Tirakural. Virtue yields heaven's honor and earth's wealth. What is there then that is more fruitful for a man? Be unremitting in the doing of good deeds. Do them with all your might and by every possible means. Tirakuval. Purity of mind and purity of conduct, these two depend upon the purity of a man's companions. Tirakuval. Ahimsa mandala, non-injury. Go, the cow, is a symbol of the earth, the nourisher, the ever-giving, undemanding provider. To the Hindu, all animals are sacred, and we acknowledge this reverence of life in our special affection for the gentle cow. Om. What is the great virtue called ahimsa? Sloka 66. Ahimsa, or non-injury, is the first and foremost ethical principle of every Hindu. It is gentleness and non-violence, whether physical, mental, or emotional. It is abstaining from causing hurt or harm to all beings. Om. Bhashya. To the Hindu, the ground is sacred, the rivers are sacred, the sky is sacred, the sun is sacred, his wife is a goddess, her husband is a god, their children are devas, their home is a shrine. Life is a pilgrimage to liberation from rebirth, and no violence can be carried to the higher reaches of that ascent. While nonviolence speaks only to the most extreme forms of wrongdoing, ahimsa, which includes not killing, goes much deeper to prohibit the subtle abuse and the simple hurt. Rishi Patanjali described ahimsa as the great vow and foremost spiritual discipline which truth-seekers must follow strictly and without fail. This extends to harm of all kinds caused by one's thoughts, words, and deeds, including injury to the natural environment. Even the intent to injure, even violence committed in a dream, is a violation of ahimsa. Vedic rishis who revealed Dharma proclaimed ahimsa as the way to achieve harmony with our environment, peace between peoples, and compassion within ourselves. The Vedic edict, ahimsa is not causing pain to any living being at any time through the actions of one's mind, speech, or body. Om Namah Shivaya. What is the inner source of non-injury? Sloka 67. Two beliefs form the philosophical basis of non-injury. The first is the law of karma, by which harm caused to others unfailingly returns to oneself. The second is that the divine shines forth in all peoples and things. Om. Bhashya. The Hindu is thoroughly convinced that violence he commits will return to him by a cosmic process that is unerring. He knows that by karma's law, what we have done to others will be done to us. If not in this life, then in another. He knows that he may one day be in the same position of anyone he is inclined to harm or persecute, perhaps incarnating in the society he most opposed in order to equalize his hates and fears into a greater understanding. The belief in the existence of God everywhere as an all-pervasive, self-effulgent energy and consciousness creates the attitude of sublime tolerance and acceptance toward others. Even tolerance is insufficient to describe the compassion and reverence the Hindu holds for the intrinsic sacredness within all things. Therefore, the actions of all Hindus living in the higher nature are rendered benign, or ahimsa. One would not hurt that which he reveres. The Vedas pronounce, "He who, dwelling in all things, yet is other than all things, whom all things do not know, whose body all things are, who controls all things from within, he is your soul, the inner controller, the immortal." Om Namah Shivaya. What is the inner source of violence? Sloka 68. Violence is a reflection of lower instinctive consciousness, fear, anger, greed, jealousy, and hate, based in the mentality of separateness and unconnectedness, of good and bad, winners and losers, mine and yours. Om. Bhashya. Every belief creates certain attitudes. Attitudes govern our actions. Our actions can thus be traced to our inmost beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. If those beliefs are erroneous, our actions will not be in tune with the universal Dharma. For instance, the beliefs in the duality of self and other, of eternal heaven and hell, victors and vanquished, white forces and dark forces, create the attitudes that we must be on our guard and are justified in giving injury, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to those whom we judge as bad, pagan, alien, or unworthy. Such thinking leads to rationalizing so-called righteous wars and conflicts. As long as our beliefs are dualistic, we will continue to generate antagonism, and that will erupt here and there in violence. Those living in the lower instinctive nature are society's antagonists. They are self-assertive, territorial, competitive, jealous, angry, fearful, and rarely penitent of their hurtfulness. Many take sport in killing for the sake of killing, thieving for the sake of theft. The Vedas indicate this soul verily is overcome by nature's qualities. Now, because of being overcome, he goes on to confusedness. Om Namah Shivaya. Is vegetarianism integral to non-injury? Sloka 69. Hindus teach vegetarianism as a way to live with a minimum of hurt to other beings, for to consume meat, fish, fowl, or eggs is to participate indirectly in acts of cruelty and violence against the animal kingdom. Om. Bhashya. The abhorrence of injury and killing of any kind leads quite naturally to a vegetarian diet, Sakahara. The meat-eater's desire for meat drives another to kill and provide that meat. The act of the butcher begins with the desire of the consumer. Meat eating contributes to a mentality of violence, for with the chemically complex meat ingested, one absorbs the slaughtered creature's fear, pain, and terror. These qualities are nourished within the meat eater, perpetuating the cycle of cruelty and confusion. When the individual's consciousness lifts and expands, he will abhor violence and not be able to even digest the meat, fish, fowl, and eggs he was formerly consuming. India's greatest saints have confirmed that one cannot eat meat and live a peaceful, harmonious life. Man's appetite for meat inflicts devastating harm on the earth itself, stripping its precious forests to make way for pastures. The Tirukural candidly states, "How can he practice true compassion who eats the flesh of an animal to flatten his own flesh? Greater than 1,000 ghee offerings consumed in sacrificial fires is not to sacrifice and consume any living creature." Om Namah Shivaya. How can peace on earth be achieved? Sloka 70. Peace is a reflection of spiritual consciousness. It begins within each person and extends to the home, neighborhood, nation, and beyond. It comes when the higher nature takes charge of the lower nature. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhashya. Until we have peace in our heart, we can't hope for peace in the world. Peace is the natural state of the mind. It is there, inside, to be discovered in meditation, maintained through self-control, and then radiated out to others. The best way to promote peace is to teach families to be peaceful within their own homes by settling all conflicts quickly. At a national and international level, we will enjoy more peace as we become more tolerant. Religious leaders can help by teaching their congregations how to live in a world of differences without feeling threatened, without forcing their ways or wills on others. World bodies can make laws which deplore and work to prevent crimes of violence. It is only when the higher nature people are in charge that peace will truly come. There is no other way because the problems of conflict reside within the low-minded group who only know retaliation as a way of life. The Vedas beseech, peace be to the earth and to airy spaces, peace be to heaven, peace be to the waters, peace to the plants and peace to the trees. May all the gods grant to me peace. By this invocation of peace may peace be diffused. Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on non-injury. Nonviolence is all the offerings. Renunciation is the priestly honorarium. The final purification is death. Thus all the divinities are established in this body. Yajurveda. If we have injured space, the earth, or heaven, or if we have offended mother or father, from that may Agni, fire of the house, absolve us and guide us safely to the world of goodness. Atharva Veda. Thou must not use your God-given body for killing God's creatures, whether they are human, animal, or whatever. Yajurveda. To the heavens be peace, to the sky and the earth, to the waters be peace, to plants and all trees. To the gods be peace, to Brahman be peace, to all men be peace again and again, peace also to me. Yajurveda. Protect both our species, two-legged and four-legged, both food and water for their needs supply. May they with us increase in stature and strength. Save us from hurt all our days, O powers. Rig Veda. O earthen vessels, strengthen me. May all beings regard me with friendly eyes. May I look upon all creatures with friendly eyes. With a friend's eye may we regard each other. Yajurveda. No pain should be caused to any created being or thing. Devikalatara Agama. When mind stuff is firmly based in waves of ahimsa, all living beings cease their enmity in the presence of such a person. Yoga Sutras. Himsa is to act against the spirit divine of the Vedas. It is to act against the dictates of Dharma. Ahimsa is the understanding of the fundamental truth that the Atman is imperishable, immutable, and all-pervading. Sutta Samhita. He who sees that the Lord of all is ever the same in all that is, immortal in the field of mortality, he sees the truth. And when a man sees that the God in himself is the same God in all that is, he hurts not himself by hurting others. Then he goes indeed to the highest path. Bhagavad Gita. The purchaser of flesh performs himsa, violence, by his wealth. He who eats flesh does so by enjoying its taste. The killer does himsa by actually tying and killing the animal. Thus there are three forms of killing: he who brings flesh or sends for it, he who cuts off the limbs of an animal, and he who purchases, sells, or cooks flesh and eats it. All of these are to be considered meat-eaters. Mahabharata. Nonviolence, truth, freedom from anger, renunciation, serenity, aversion to fault-finding, sympathy for all beings, peace from greedy cravings, gentleness, modesty, steadiness, energy, forgiveness, fortitude, purity, a good will, freedom from pride. These belong to a man who is born for heaven. Bhagavad Gita. Meat can never be obtained without injury to living creatures, and injury to sentient beings is detrimental to the attainment of heavenly bliss. Let him therefore shun meat. Manu Dharma Shastras. Worthless are those who injure others vengefully, while those who stoically endure are like stored gold. Let him who wishes to be free from affliction's pain avoid inflicting harm on others. Tirukural. Grihastha Upanishad, family life. Dampati Mandala, husband and wife. Mankolam, the pleasing paisley design, is modeled after a mango and associated with Lord Ganesha. Mangoes are the sweetest of fruits, symbolizing auspiciousness and the happy fulfillment of legitimate worldly desires. Om. What is the central purpose of marriage? Sloka 71. The two purposes of marriage are the mutual support, both spiritual and material, of man and wife, and bringing children into the world. Marriage is a religious sacrament, a human contract, and a civil institution. Om. Bhashya. Through marriage, a man and a woman each fulfill their dharma, becoming physically, emotionally, and spiritually complete. He needs her tenderness, companionship, and encouragement, while she needs his strength, love, and understanding. Their union results in the birth of children and the perpetuation of the human race. Marriage is a threefold state. It is a sacrament, a contract, and an institution. As a sacrament, it is a spiritual union in which man and woman utter certain vows one to another, and thus bind themselves together for life and for their soul's mutual benefit. As a contract, it is a personal agreement to live together as husband and wife, he to provide shelter, protection, sustenance, and she to care for the home and bear and nurture their children. As an institution, marriage is the lawful custom in society, bringing stability to the family and the social order. Marriage is a jiva yajna, a sacrifice of each small self to the greater good of the family and society. The Vedas exclaim, I am he, you are she. I am song, you are verse. I am heaven, you are earth. We two shall here together dwell, becoming parents of children. Om Namah Shivaya. What are the duties of the husband? Sloka 72. It is the husband's duty, his Purusha Dharma, to protect and provide for his wife and children. He, as head of the family, Griheshvara, is responsible for its spiritual, economic, physical, mental, and emotional security. Om. Bhashya. By their physical, mental, and emotional differences, the man is suited to work in the world, and the woman to bear and raise their children in the home. The husband is, first, an equal participant in the procreation and upbringing of the future generation. Second, he is the generator of economic resources necessary for society and the immediate family. The husband must be caring, understanding, masculine, loving, affectionate, and an unselfish provider, to the best of his ability and through honest means. He is well equipped physically and mentally for the stress and demands placed upon him. When he performs his dharma well, the family is materially and emotionally secure. Still, he is not restricted from participation in household chores, remembering that the home is the wife's domain, and she is its mistress. The Vedas implore, through this oblation which invokes prosperity, may this bridegroom flourish anew. May he, with his manly energies, flourish the wife they have brought to him. May he excel in strength, excel in royalty. May this couple be inexhaustible in wealth that bestows luster 1,000-fold. Om Namah Shivaya. What are special duties of the wife? Sloka 73. It is the wife's duty, her Sri dharma, to bear, nurse, and raise the children. She is the able homemaker, standing beside her husband as the mother and educator of their children, and the home's silent leader, Grihini, Om. Bhashya, the biological differences between man and woman are part of their human dharma. The two together constitute a whole. They are equal partners in joy and sorrow, companions and helpmates, yet their functions differ. The Hindu home and family is the fortress of the Sanatana Dharma, which the wife and mother is duty-bound to maintain, and thus to perpetuate the faith and create fine citizens. As long as the husband is capable of supporting the family, a woman should not leave the home to work in the world, though she may earn through home industry. The spiritual and emotional loss suffered by the children and the bad karma accrued from having a wife and mother work outside the home is never offset by the financial gain. The woman's more intuitive and emotional qualities of femininity, gentleness, modesty, kindness, and compassion are needed for the children's proper care and development. The Vedas encourage, "May happiness await you with your children. Watch over this house as mistress of the house. Unite yourself wholly with your husband. Thus authority in speech till old age will be yours. Om Namah Shivaya." What is the Hindu view of sexuality? Sloka 74. The purpose of sexual union is to express and foster love's beautiful intimacy and to draw husband and wife together for procreation. While offering community guidance, Hinduism does not legislate sexual matters. Om. Bhashya. Sexual intercourse is a natural reproductive function, a part of the instinctive nature, and its pleasures draw man and woman together that a child may be conceived. It also serves through its intimacy to express and nurture love. It is love which endows sexual intercourse with its higher qualities, transforming it from an animal function to a human fulfillment. Intensely personal matters of sex, as they affect the family or individual, are not legislated, but left to the judgment of those involved, subject to community laws and customs. Hinduism neither condones nor condemns birth control, sterilization, masturbation, homosexuality, petting, polygamy, or pornography. It does not exclude or draw harsh conclusions against any part of human nature, though Scripture prohibits adultery and forbids abortion except to save a mother's life. Advice in such matters should be sought from parents, elders, and spiritual leaders. The only rigid rule is wisdom guided by tradition and virtue. The Vedas beseech, "May all the divine powers together with the waters join our two hearts in one. May the messenger, the creator, and holy obedience unite us. Om Namah Shivaya." What is the relation of sex to marriage? Sloka 75. Wisdom demands that the intimacies of sexual intercourse be confined to marriage. Marriages that are free of prior relationships are the truest and strongest, seldom ending in separation or divorce. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhashya. When a virgin man and woman marry and share physical intimacy with each other, their union is very strong and their marriage stable. This is because their psychic nerve currents, or nadis, grow together and they form a one body and a one mind. Conversely, if the man or woman has had intercourse before the marriage, the emotional psychic closeness of the marriage will suffer, and this in proportion to the extent of promiscuity. For a marriage to succeed, sexual intercourse must be preserved for husband and wife. Each should grow to understand the other's needs and take care to neither deny intercourse to the married partner nor make excessive demands. A healthy, unrepressed attitude should be kept regarding sexual matters. Boys and girls must be taught to value and protect their chastity as a sacred treasure, and to save the special gift of intimacy for their spouse. They should be taught the importance of loyalty in marriage, and to avoid even the thought of adultery. The Vedas intone, "Sweet be the glances we exchange, our faces showing true concord. Enshrine me in your heart, and let one spirit dwell with us. Om Namah Shivaya." Scriptures speak on man and wife. O divines, may the husband and wife, who with one accord offer the elixir of dedication with pure heart, and propitiate you with the milk of sweet devotional prayers, constantly associated, may they acquire appropriate food, may they be able to offer sacrifice, and may they never fail in strength and vigor. Rig Veda. May Prajapati grant to us an issue. Aryaman keep us till death in holy marriage, free from ill omens. Enter the home of your husband, bring blessing to both humans and cattle. Rig Veda. May the Provident One lead you, holding your hand. May the two Ashvins transport you on their chariot. Enter your house as that household's mistress. May authority in speech ever be yours. Rig Veda. O man and woman, having acquired knowledge from the learned, proclaim amongst the wise the fact of your intention of entering the married life. Attain to fame, observing the noble virtue of non-violence, and uplift your soul. Shun crookedness, converse together happily. Living in a peaceful home, spoil not your life, spoil not your progeny. In this world, pass your life happily on this wide earth full of enjoyment. Yajurveda. Love, children, happiness, and wealth will come to answer your hopes. Devoted to your husband's needs, be girded for immortality. Atharva Veda. Not evil-eyed nor harmful to your husband, kind to dumb beasts, radiant, gentle-hearted, pleasing, beloved by the gods, bring forth heroes, to menfolk and beasts alike bring blessing. Rig Veda. Divine architect of the universe, well pleased, may you give us procreant vigor, whence a brave son skilled in action, lover of divine powers, and resolute like grinding stones be born. Rig Veda. Unite, O Lord, this couple like a pair of lovebirds. May they surrounded by children be, living both long and happily. Atharva Veda. May the Lord of the clouds protect our stores, piled high in our homes. May the Lord of the clouds give us vitality in our homes, granting goods and riches. Atharva Veda. Let there be faithfulness to each other until death. This, in short, should be known as the highest duty of husband and wife. So let husband and wife ever strive, doing all their duties, that they may not, separated from each other, wander apart. Manu Dharma Shastras. You are firm, and I see you. Be firm with me, O flourishing one. Brihaspati has given you to me, so live with me 100 years, bearing children by me, your husband. Parashkara Griya Sutras. A worthy wife is the blessing of a home, and good children are its precious adornment. Tirukural. There is no greater dignity than that of the man who declares, I will never cease in laboring to advance my family. Tirukural. Whatever the work may be, a man should train himself to carry it out with perseverance, devotion, and joy. By disciplining himself in this way, he will acquire steadiness of mind. That is to say, the mind will become one-pointed. Nachintanai. Vivaha Mandala, marriage. Shatkona, six-pointed star, is two interlocking triangles. The upper stands for Shiva, Purusha, and fire, the lower for Shakti, Prakriti, and water. Their union gives birth to Sanakumara, whose sacred number is 6. Om. What is the basis for a happy marriage? A happy marriage is based first and foremost on a mature love, not a romantic ideal of love. It requires selflessness and constant attention. A successful marriage is one which both partners work at making successful. Om. Bhashya. While not all marriages must be arranged, there is wisdom in arranged marriages, which have always been an important part of Hindu culture. Their success lies in the family's judgment to base the union on pragmatic matters, which will outlast the sweetest infatuation and endure through the years. The ideal age for women is from 18 to 25, men from 21 to 30. Stability is enhanced if the boy has completed his education, established earnings through a profession, and is at least 5 years older than the girl. Mature love includes accepting obligations, duties, and even difficulties. The couple should be prepared to work with their marriage not expecting it to take care of itself. It is good for bride and groom to write out a covenant by hand, each pledging to fulfill certain duties and promises. They should approach the marriage as holy, advancing both partners spiritually. It is important to marry a spouse who is dependable, chaste, and serious about raising children in the Hindu way, and then worship and pray together. The Vedas say, devoted to sacrifice, gathering wealth, they serve the immortal and honor the gods, united in mutual love. Om Namah Shivaya. Must we marry within our religion? Sloka 77. Tradition requires that the wife adopt the religion and lifestyle of her husband. Thus, Hindu women wanting to continue their family culture and religion will in wisdom marry a spouse of the same sect and lineage. Om. Bhasya. The mutual spiritual unfoldment of man and wife is a central purpose of marriage. When we marry outside our religion, we create disharmony and conflict for ourselves and our children. Such a marriage draws us away from religious involvement instead of deeper into its fulfillment. For marriage to serve its spiritual purpose to the highest, husband and wife should hold the same beliefs and share the same religious practices. Their harmony of minds will be reflected in the children. A man's choice of spouse is a simple decision, because his wife is bound to follow him. For a woman, it is a far more important decision, because her choice determines the future of her religious and social life. While his lifestyle will not change, hers will. Should a Hindu marry a non-Hindu, traditional wisdom dictates that the wife conform to her husband's heritage, and that the children be raised in his faith, with no conflicting beliefs or customs. The husband may be invited to convert to her faith before marriage. The Vedas pray, united your resolve, united your hearts, may your spirits be one, that you may long together dwell in unity and concord. Om Namah Shivaya. How are Hindu marriages arranged? Sloka 78. Marriage is a union not only of boy and girl, but of their families too. Not leaving such crucial matters to chance, all family members participate in finding the most suitable spouse for the eligible son or daughter. Om. Bhasya. In seeking a bride for a son or a groom for a daughter, the goal is to find a mate compatible in age, physique, education, social status, religion, character, and personality. Elders may first seek a partner among families they know and esteem for the kinship bonds the marriage would bring. Astrology is always consulted for compatibility. Of course, mutual attraction and full consent of the couple are crucial. Once a potential spouse is selected, informal inquiries are made by a relative or friend. If the response is encouraging, the father of the girl meets the father of the boy and presents a proposal. Next, the families gather at the girl's home to get acquainted and to allow the couple to meet and discuss their expectations. If all agree to the match, the boy's mother adorns the girl with a gold necklace, or gifts are exchanged between families, signifying a firm betrothal. Rejoicing begins with the engagement ceremony and culminates on the wedding day. The Vedas say, straight be the paths and thornless on which our friends will travel to present our suit. May Aryaman and Bhaga lead us together. May heaven grant us a stable marriage. Om Namah Shivaya. What is the Hindu family structure? Sloka 79. The main Hindu social unit is the joint family, usually consisting of several generations living together under the guidance of the father and mother. Each joint family is part of a greater body called the extended family. Om. Bhashya. A joint family lives under one roof. It includes a father and mother, their sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons, and all their spouses, as well as all daughters, granddaughters, and great-granddaughters until they are married. The head of the family is the father, assisted by his wife, or in his absence the eldest son, encouraged by his mother, and in his absence the next eldest brother. The family head delegates responsibilities to members according to their abilities. The mother oversees household activities, nurturance, hospitality, and gift-giving. Religious observances are the eldest son's responsibility. The joint family is founded on selfless sharing, community ownership, and the fact that each member's voice and opinion is important. The extended family includes one or more joint families, community elders, married daughters and their kindred, close friends, and business associates. It is headed by the family guru, priests, and panditas. The Vedas offer blessings. Dwell in this home, never be parted. Enjoy the full duration of your days, with sons and grandsons playing to the end, rejoicing in your home to your heart's content. Om Namah Shivaya. How are marital problems reconciled? Sloka 80. When problems arise in marriage, Hindus study the scriptures and seek advice of family, elders, and spiritual leaders. A good marriage requires that the husband be masculine and the wife feminine. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhasha, success in marriage depends on learning to discuss problems with each other freely and constructively. Criticizing one another, even mentally, must be strictly avoided, for that erodes a marriage most quickly. Under no circumstance should a husband hit or abuse his wife, nor should a wife dominate or torment her husband. It is important to not be jealous or overly protective, but to have trust in one another and live up to that trust. Problems should be resolved daily before sleep. If inharmony persists, advice of elders should be sought. A reading and reaffirmation of original marriage covenants and an astrological assessment may provide a common point of reference and a foundation for mutual sacrifice and understanding. The husband who does not take the lead is not fulfilling his duty. The wife who takes an aggressive lead in the marriage makes her husband weak. She must be shy to make him bold. Couples keep a healthy attitude towards sex, never offering it as reward or withholding it as punishment. The Vedas say, be courteous, planning and working in harness together. Approach, conversing pleasantly, like-minded, united. Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on marriage. Of one mind and one purpose I make you, following one another. Be like the gods, ever deathless, never stop loving. Atharva Veda. Have your eating and drinking in common. Bind you together, assemble for worship of the Lord, like spokes around a hub. Atharva Veda. Thus steadfast and firm as a horse, we shall offer our praises, omniscient Lord, forever. Replete with food and with riches, being close to you always, may we never suffer reverses. Atharva Veda. May Mitra, Varuna, and Aryaman grant us freedom and space enough for us and for our children. May we find pleasant pathways, good to travel. Preserve us evermore, O gods, with blessings. Rig Veda. Let this man be again bedewed with this presented sacrifice, and comfort with the sap of life the bride whom thou have brought to him. Atharva Veda. Act like a queen to your husband's father, to your husband's mother likewise, and his sister. To all your husband's brothers be queen. Rig Veda. The Lord brings us riches, food in daily abundance, renown and heroes, sons to gladden our hearts. So like a father to his sons, be to us easy of entreaty. Stay with us, O Lord, for our joy. Rig Veda. When family life possesses love and virtue, that is both its essence and fruition. Tirukural. May our minds move in accord, may our thinking be in harmony, common the purpose and common the desire, may our prayers and worship be alike, and may our devotional offerings be one and the same. Rig Veda. May this our Lord of cloudy sky, bedewed with liquid drops, preserve unequaled riches in our homes. Lord of the cloudy sky, bestow vigor and strength on our abodes. Let wealth and treasure come to us. Atharva Veda. The gift of a daughter, after decking her with costly garments and honoring her by presents of jewels, to a man learned in the Veda and of good conduct, whom the father himself invites, is called the Brahma rite. Manudharma Shastras. Endowed with the qualities of beauty and goodness, possessing wealth and fame, obtaining as many enjoyments as they desire, and being most righteous, they will live 100 years. Manudharma Shastras. Women must be honored and adorned by their fathers, brothers, husbands, and brothers-in-law, who desire their own welfare. Where women are honored, there the gods are pleased, but where they are not honored, no sacred rite yields rewards. Manudharma Shastras. I hold your heart in serving fellowship. Your mind follows my mind. In my word you rejoice with all your heart. You are joined to be the Lord of all creatures. Paraskara Griya Sutras. The foremost duty of the householder is to duly serve these 5, ancestors, God, guests, kindred, and himself. Tirukural. Apatya Mandala, children. Mushika is Lord Ganesha's mount, the mouse, traditionally associated with abundance in family life. Under cover of darkness, seldom visible, yet always at work, Mushika is like God's unseen grace in our lives. Om. What is the fulfillment of a marriage? Sloka 81. Children are the greatest source of happiness in marriage. Householder life is made rich and complete when sons and daughters are born, at which time the marriage becomes a family and a new generation begins. Om. Bhashya. The total fulfillment of the Grihastha Dharma is children. Marriage remains incomplete until the first child is born or adopted. The birth of the first child cements the family together. At the birth itself, the community of guardian devas of the husband, wife, and child are eminently present. Their collective vibration showers blessings upon the home, making of it a full place, a warm place. It is the duty of the husband and wife to become father and mother. This process begins prior to conception with prayer, meditation, and a conscious desire to bring a high soul into human birth, and continues with providing the best possible conditions for its upbringing. Raising several children rewards the parents and their offspring as well. Large families are more cohesive, more stable, and are encouraged within the limits of the family's ability to care for them. Parents, along with all members of the extended family, are responsible to nurture the future generation through childhood into puberty and adulthood. The Vedas exclaim, "Blessed with sons and daughters, may they enjoy their full extent of life, decked with ornaments of gold. Om Namah Shivaya." What are the main duties of parents? Sloka 82. The fundamental duty of parents is to provide food, shelter, and clothing, and to keep their children safe and healthy. The secondary duty is to bestow education, including instruction in morality and religious life. Om. Bhashya. Assuring the health and well-being of their offspring is the most essential duty of parents to their children, never to be neglected. Beyond this, parents should provide a good example to their children, being certain that they are taught the Hindu religious heritage and culture, along with good values, ethics, strength of character, and discipline. Sons and daughters should worship regularly at puja with the parents, and the Hindu sacraments should all be provided. Education in all matters is the duty of the parents, including teaching them frankly about sex, its sacredness, and the necessity to remain chaste until marriage. Children must learn to respect and observe civil law, and to honor and obey their elders. Parents must love their children dearly and teach them to love. The best way to teach is by example, by their own life. Parents teach their children how to live. The Vedas declare, "Of one heart and mind I make you, devoid of hate. Love one another as a cow loves the calf she has borne. Let the son be courteous to his father, of one mind with his mother. Let the wife speak words that are gentle and sweet to her husband." Om Namah Shivaya. How strictly must children be guided? Sloka 83. Parents should be most diligent in guiding their children toward virtue, protecting them from all bad company and influences, being strict yet never harsh or mean, allowing them prudent freedom in which to grow. Om. Bhashya. Children are constantly learning, and that learning must be guided carefully by the parents. The young's education, recreation, and companions must be supervised. They should be taught the scriptures of their lineage. Their religious education is almost always in the hands of the parents. They should be disciplined to study hard and challenged to excel and fulfill their natural talents. They should be praised and rewarded for their accomplishments. Children need and seek guidance, and only the parents can truly provide it. In general, it is the mother who provides love and encouragement, while the father corrects and disciplines. A child's faults, if not corrected, will be carried into adult life. Still, care should be taken to not be overly restrictive either. Children should never be struck, beaten, abused, or ruled through a sense of fear. Children, be they young or old, have a karma and a dharma of their own. Their parents have a debt to pay them, and they have a debt to return later in life. The Vedas plead, "O friend of men, protect my children. O adorable one, protect my cattle. O sword of flame, protect my nourishment." Om Namah Shivaya. Should all youths be urged to marry? Sloka 84. All but the rare few inclined to monastic life should be encouraged to marry and school in the skills they will need to fulfill Dharma. Young boys destined to be monastics should be raised as their Satguru's progeny. Om. Bhasya. Traditionally, boys with monastic tendencies are encouraged and provided special training under their Satguru's direction. It is considered a great blessing for the family to have a son become a monastic and later a Swami. Generally, children should be taught to follow and prepare themselves for the householder path. Most boys will choose married life and should be schooled in professional, technical skills. Girls are taught the refinements of household culture. Both girls and boys should be trained in the sacred Vedic arts and sciences, including the 64 crafts and social skills called kalas. Boys benefit greatly when taught the profession of their father from a very young age. The mother is the role model for her daughters, whom she raises as the mothers of future families. Sons and daughters who are gay may not benefit from marriage, and should be taught to remain loyal in relationships and be prepared to cope with community challenges. The Vedas pray, "May you, O love divine, flow from the acquisition of food, of wisdom, and for the prosperity of the enlightened person who praises you. May you grant him excellent progeny. Om Namah Shivaya." How is family harmony maintained? Sloka 85. In the Hindu family, mutual respect, love, and understanding are the bedrock of harmony. By not fighting, arguing, or criticizing, members cultivate a spiritual environment in which all may progress. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhasya. For a harmonious joint family, it is vital to make the home strong, the center of activity and creativity, kept beautiful and clean, a sanctuary for each member. While striving to increase wealth, the wise families live within their means, content with what they have. Activities are planned to bring the family close through shared experiences. A gentle but firm hierarchy of respect for elders is maintained throughout the family. In general, the younger, in humility, defers to the elder, allowing him or her the last word. The elder is equally obliged to not misuse authority. Older children are responsible for the safety and care of their younger brothers and sisters. Disputes among children are settled by their mother, but not kept a secret from the father. Actual discipline in the case of misconduct is carried out by the father. When disputes arise in the extended family, responsibility for restoring harmony falls first to the men. However, any concerned member can take the lead if necessary. The Vedas say of Grihastha life, "I will utter a prayer for such concord among family members as binds together the gods among whom is no hatred." Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on children. O Lord of the home, best finder of riches for our children are you. Grant to us splendor and strength, O Master of our home. Yajurveda. I am inclined to adore you, the two sages, the ministrants at the places of work and worship of men, from whom all the prosperity is derived. May you raise our offspring to a higher stature and help as to acquire precious treasures preserved among nature's bounties when the worship is being conducted. Rig Veda. I know not how to stretch the threads or weave or discern the pattern of those who weave in the contest. Whose son will be the one to speak so well as to surpass, advancing from below his father? Rig Veda. Keen of mind and keen of sight, free from sickness, free from sin, rich in children, may we see you rise as a friend, O son, till a long life's end. Rig Veda. Never may brother hate brother or sister hurt sister. United in heart and in purpose, commune sweetly together. Atharva Veda. To you, O Lord, the priest, beloved of all men, we bring our praise with reverence. Keep watch over our children and ourselves, we pray. Guard both our lives and our cattle. Atharva Veda. Let there be no neglect of the duties to the gods and the fathers. Be one to whom the mother is a god. Be one to whom the father is a god. Be one to whom the teacher is a god. Be one to whom the guest is a god. Yajurveda. If he should desire, let me be born here again, in whatever family he directs his attention, either the family of a Brahmin or the family of a king, into that he will be born. Samaveda. By honoring his mother he gains this world, by honoring his father the middle sphere, but by obedience to his teacher the world of Brahman. All duties have been fulfilled by him who honors those three Manudharma Shastras. Among those who strive for liberation, the foremost are they who live the blessed state of family life as it should be lived. Tirukuval. Sweet are the sounds of the flute and the lute, say those who have not heard the prattle of their own children. Tirukuval. The father's duty to his son is to make him worthy of precedence in the assembly of the wise. The son's duty to his father is to make the world ask, by what great austerities did he merit such a son? Tirukural. Of all a man's blessings we know of none greater than the begetting of children endowed with wisdom. What pleasure it is to human beings everywhere when their children possess knowledge surpassing their own. Tirukural. Study well, be obedient, hear and follow the advice of your father, mother, brothers, and sisters, and your aunt and uncle. You alone always set a good example in obedience. Nachintanai. Do not neglect your duty, my son. Be not troubled by sorrow or care. Do not stray from the path of Dharma, my son. Awake and know yourself. Nachintanai. Mangala Kriya Upanishad, Sacred Culture. Bodhitantra Mandala, Ways of Wisdom. Konrai, golden shower, blossoms are the flowering symbol of Shiva's honeyed grace in our life. Associated with his shrines and temples throughout India, the Kasya fistula is lauded in numberless Tirumurai hymns. Om. How do we overcome life's obstacles? Sloka 86. Just as a small leaf can obscure the sun when held before our eyes, so can the past cloud the present and hide our divinity. With Vedic methods, or tantras, we remove impediments to reveal the ever-present inner light. Om. Bhashya. An ancient Upanishad defines 20 obstacles, upasarga, to spiritual progress. Hunger, thirst, laziness, passion, lust, fear, shame, anxiety, excitement, adversity, sorrow, despair, anger, arrogance, delusion, greed, stinginess, ambitiousness, death, and birth. Another obstacle is the intellect, which, unguided by intuition, merely juggles memory and reason as a way of life. The experience of these impediments creates reactions that combine with the sum of all past impressions, samskaras, both positive and negative. Residing in the subconscious mind, these are the source of subliminal traits or tendencies called vasanas, which shape our attitudes and motivations. The troublesome vasanas clouding the mind must be reconciled and released. There are beneficial tantras by which absolution can be attained for unhindered living, including Ayurveda, Jyotisha, daily sadhana, temple worship, selfless giving, the creative arts, and the several yogas. The Vedas explain, even as a mirror covered with dust shines brightly when cleared, so the embodied soul, seeing the truth of Atman, realizes oneness, attains the goal of life, and becomes free from sorrow. Om Namah Shivaya. What are the Hindus' daily yoga practices? Sloka 87. Devout Hindus perform daily vigil called Sandhya Upasana, usually before dawn. This sacred period of puja japa, chanting, singing, hatha yoga, meditation, and scriptural study is the foundation of personal life. Om. Bhashya. Each day, hundreds of millions of Hindus awaken for the last fifth of the night, bathe, don fresh clothing, apply sectarian marks called tilaka, and sit in a clean, quiet place for religious disciplines. Facing east or north, the devotional puja rites of bhakti yoga are performed. Hatha yoga, hymn singing, japa, and chanting are often included. Then follows scriptural study and meditation, listening to the sound current and contemplating the moon-like inner light. During Brahma Muhurta, the auspicious hour-and-a-half period before dawn, the duly initiated practice advanced yogas such as those revealed in merging with Shiva, but only as directed by their guru, knowing that unless firmly harnessed, the kundalini can manifest uncontrollable desires. Through the day, karma yoga, selfless religious service, is performed at every opportunity. Besides these yogas of doing, Hindus practice the central yoga of being, living a joyful, positive, harmonious life. The Vedas declare the mind indeed is this fleeting world. Therefore it should be purified with great effort. One becomes like that which is in one's mind. This is the everlasting secret. Om Namah Shivaya. How are Ayurveda and Jyotisha used? Sloka 88. Ayurveda is the Hindu science of life, a complete holistic medical system. Jyotisha or Vedic astrology is the knowledge of right timing and future potentialities. Both are vital tools for happy, productive living. Om. Bhashya. Ayurveda, rooted in the Atharva Upaveda, deals with both the prevention and cure of disease. Its 8 medical arts, with their mantras, tantras, and yogas, are based on spiritual well-being and encompass every human need, physical, mental, and emotional. Ayurveda teaches that the true healing powers reside in the mind at the quantum level. Wellness depends on the correct balance of 3 bodily humors, called doshas, maintained by a nutritious vegetarian diet, dharmic living, and natural healing remedies. The kindred science of Vedic astrology, revealed in the Jyotisha Vedanga, likewise is vital to every Hindu's life. It propounds a dynamic cosmos of which we are an integral part, and charts the complex influence on us of important stars and planets according to our birth chart. Knowing that the stars enliven positive and negative karmas we have brought into this life, in wisdom we choose an auspicious time, Subha Muhurta, for every important event. An orthodox Hindu family is not complete without its Jyotisha Shastri or Ayurveda Vaidya. The Vedas beseech, peaceful for us be the planets and the moon, peaceful the sun and Rahu. Om Namah Shivaya. How do Hindus regard art and culture? Sloka 89. Hindus of every sect cherish art and culture as sacred. Music, art, drama, and the dance are expressions of spiritual experience established in Shastras by God-inspired rishis as an integral flowering of temple worship. Om. Bhashya. Art and culture, from the Hindu perspective, are the sublime fruits of a profound civilization. Every Hindu strives to perfect an art or craft to manifest creative benefits for family and community. The home is a spiritual extension of the temple. Graced with the sounds of Indian sacred music, it is adorned with religious pictures, symbols, and icons. The shrine is the most lavish room. Children are raised to appreciate Hindu art, music, and culture, carefully trained in the 64 kalas and protected from alien influences. Human relationships are kept harmonious and uplifting through the attitudes, customs, and refinements of Asian protocol, as revealed in Living with Shiva. Hindu attire is elegantly modest. Sectarian marks called tilaka are worn on the brow as emblems of sectarian identity. Mantra and prayer sanctify even simple daily acts. Awakening, bathing, greetings, meals, meetings, outings, daily tasks, and sleep. Annual festivals and pilgrimage offer a complete departure from worldly concerns. The Vedas proclaim, "Let the drums sound forth, and let the lute resound. Let the strings vibrate the exalted prayer to God." Om Namah Shivaya. What is the Hindu outlook on giving? Sloka 90. Generous, selfless giving is among Dharma's central fulfillments. Hospitality, charity, and support of God's work on earth arises from the belief that the underlying purpose of life is spiritual, not material. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhashya. Nowhere is giving better unfolded than in the ancient Tirukkural, which says, "Of all duties, benevolence is unequaled in this world, and even in celestial realms." It is to meet the needs of the deserving that the worthy labor arduously to acquire wealth. Even the poorest Hindu practices charity according to his means. In this unselfish tradition, guests are treated as God. Friends, acquaintances, even strangers are humbled by the overwhelming hospitality received. We share with the less fortunate. We care for the aged. We honor swamis with gifts of food, money, and clothes. We encourage the spirit of helping and giving called dana within the family, between families, and their monastic and priestly communities. Many devout Hindus take the Dasamabhaga Vrata, a vow to pay 10% of their income each month to an institution of their choice to perpetuate Sanatana Dharma. This centuries-old tithing practice is called dasamamsa. The Vedas wisely warn, the powerful man should give to one in straits. Let him consider the road that lies ahead. Riches revolve just like a chariot's wheels, coming to one man now, then to another. Om Namah Shivaya. Scriptures speak on wisdom's ways. May the goddess of culture associated with the models of other cultures. May the goddess of wisdom in company with men, ordinary and intellectual. May the fire divine, and may the goddess of divine speech with masters of language come to bless us and enshrine our hearts. Rig Veda. In vain the foolish man accumulates food. I tell you truly, it will be his downfall. He gathers to himself neither friend nor comrade. Alone he eats, alone he sits in sin. The plowshare cleaving the soil helps satisfy hunger. The traveler using his legs achieves his goal. The priest who speaks surpasses the one who is silent. The friend who gives is better than the miser. Rig Veda. Silpani, works of art of man, are an imitation of divine forms. By employing their rhythms, a metrical reconstitution is effected of the limited human personality. Rig Veda. There are 5 great sacrifices, namely the great ritual services, the sacrifice to all beings, sacrifice to men, sacrifice to the ancestors, sacrifice to the gods, sacrifice to Brahman. Yajurveda. Find a quiet retreat for the practice of yoga, sheltered from the wind, level and clean, free from rubbish, smoldering fires and ugliness, and where the sound of waters and the beauty of the place help thought and contemplation. Yajurveda. Lightness, healthiness, steadiness, clearness of complexion, pleasantness of voice, sweetness of odor, and slight excretions. These, they say, are the first results of the progress of yoga. Yajurveda. Vitsana is divided into 2, the pure and the impure. If thou art led by the pure Visanas, thou shalt thereby soon reach by degrees my seat. But should the old impure Vasanas land thee in danger, they should be overcome through efforts. Yajurveda. Works of sacrifice, gift, and self-harmony should not be abandoned, but should indeed be performed, for these are works of purification. But even these works, Arjuna, should be done in the freedom of a pure offering, and without expectation of a reward. This is my final word. Bhagavad Gita. Easy for all to offer and worship a green leaf to the Lord, easy for all to give a mouthful to the cow, easy for all to give a handful when sitting down to eat, easy for all to speak pleasant words to others. Tirumantiram. So let my star be the sun or the moon, Mars or Mercury or Jupiter, let it be Venus or Saturn or the 2 snakes. All the planets and stars are good stars for us, all bring good luck to Shiva's devotees. Tirumurai. Plow with truth, plant the seed of desire for knowledge, weed out falsehood, irrigate the mind with the water of patience, supervise your work by introspection and self-analysis, build the fence of yama and niyama and right conduct and right rules. You will soon attain Shivananda, or eternal bliss of Shiva. Tirumurai. Moderately eat for your sustenance. Take pains at all times to assimilate knowledge. In your youth learn the arts and the sciences. To the mean and the miserly be not attached. Foster the friendship of well-nurtured people. Live in happiness, saying you are lacking in nothing. Look after your brothers and kinfolk. Inwardly and outwardly let your life be the same. Nachitanai. Samskara Mandala, sacraments. Homakunda, the fire altar, is the symbol of ancient Vedic rites. It is through the fire element, denoting divine consciousness, that we make offerings to the gods. Hindu sacraments are solemnized before the homa fire. Om. What are Hinduism's rites of passage? Sloka 91. Hindus celebrate life's crucial junctures by holy sacraments or rites of passage called samskaras, which impress the subconscious mind, inspire family and community sharing, and invoke the gods' blessings. Om. Bhashya. For the Hindu, life is a sacred journey in which each milestone, marking major biological and emotional stages, is consecrated through sacred ceremony. Family and friends draw near, lending support, advice, and encouragement. Through Vedic rites and mantras, family members or priests invoke the gods for blessings and protection during important turning points, praying for the individual's spiritual and social development. There are many sacraments, from the rite of conception to the funeral ceremony. Each one, properly observed, empowers spiritual life and preserves Hindu culture, as the soul consciously accepts each succeeding discovery and duty in the order of God's creation. The essential samskaras are the rites of conception, the 3-month blessing, hair parting, birth, name-giving, head shaving, first feeding, ear piercing, first learning, puberty, marriage, elders' vows, and last rites. The Holy Vedas proclaim, from him come hymns, songs, and sacrificial formulas, initiations, sacrifices, rites, and all offerings. From him come the year, the sacrificer, and the worlds in which the moon shines forth and the sun. Om Namah Shivaya. What are the sacraments of childhood? Sloka 92. The essential religious sacraments of childhood are the namakarana, name-giving, chudakarana, head-shaving, anaprasana, first solid food, karnaveda, ear-piercing, and vijayarambha, commencement of formal study. Om. Bhasya. Samskaras impress upon a child its holiness and innate possibilities for spiritual advancement. The namakarana occurs in the temple or home 11 to 41 days after birth. The baby's name, astrologically chosen, is whispered in the right ear by the father, marking the formal entry into Hinduism. The head shaving, chudakarana, is performed at the temple between the 31st day and the 4th year. The anaprasana celebrates the child's first solid food, when sweet rice is fed to the baby by the father or the family guru. Ear-piercing, karnaveda, held for both girls and boys during the 1st, 3rd, or 5th year, endows the spirit of health and wealth. Girls are adorned with gold earrings, bangles, and anklets, boys with 2 earrings and other gold jewelry. The Vijayarambha begins formal education when children write their first letter in a tray of rice. The Upanayana begins and the Samavartana ends, a youth's religious study. The Vedas beseech, I bend to our cause at the solemn moment, O gods, your divine and holy attention. May 1,000 streams gush forth from this offering like milk from a bountiful pasture-fed cow. Om Namah Shivaya.